Bo Nix perfectly captures everything wrong with how we evaluate quarterbacks in modern football. The hysteria around his play has reached absurd levels, and the past 2 weeks prove it better than anything else could. Here's what happened. The Broncos hosted the Raiders on Thursday night in Week 10. Denver didn't play well, but they still won, improving to 8-2 with one of the best records in the NFL. Yet the headline screamed about a stalled offense and asked, what's wrong with Bo Nix? Fast forward 10 days, those same Broncos, with that same quarterback, went to Kansas City and pulled off a close, tough victory to improve to 9-2. Suddenly, the offense was surging, and Nix became Captain Comeback. This marked their 5th win in 7 games where they trailed in the 4th quarter. Denver 7 actually has a believe-o meter that captures the absurdity of week-to-week quarterback evaluation. Yes, Nix played better against Kansas City than he did against the Raiders, but how much better? That's nearly impossible to say. The NFL is designed to make every team 500. Winning requires far more than any single player's talent. There's an oblong ball that bounces in every direction. There are human beings beneath those helmets dealing with real life. There are defensive coordinators watching tape and making adjustments. The narratives surrounding Nix reveal more about us as a football-obsessed nation than they say about him. We're filled with fans who don't really understand the game beyond their fantasy rosters. Context matters. It always has and always will. Every pass, every quarter, every game, every season. And without context, Nix isn't the easiest quarterback to assess. He can sling it, but not in every traditional way. He's built more like a linebacker. He didn't dominate SEC defenses at Auburn from 2019 to 2021, but he still won 21 games. Then he transferred to Oregon, developed as a passer, completed 77.4% of his passes, and threw 45 touchdowns against just 3 interceptions. The Broncos understood his strengths and limitations. To think otherwise means assuming Sean Payton couldn't see who Nix was and who he could become. Nix went 5-5 in his first 10 rookie starts, then elevated Denver back into the playoffs for the first time since their Super Bowl triumph in early 2016. This past offseason, Nix worked with his private quarterback coach David Morris from QB Country. He met with Drew Brees to understand elite quarterback play and legendary coaching. How this season has gone depends entirely on your viewpoint. Those who see 9-2 as 9-2 recognize undeniable success. Those fixated on missed throws in Week 10 see impending disaster. Meanwhile, Nix deletes his social media to avoid the raging debates. Pro Football Reference ranked these Broncos as the 54th of 58 teams that went on 7-game winning streaks since 1970, but they're still one of only 58 teams to accomplish that feat. Denver has the 3rd-ranked defense in the NFL, and that defense has won plenty of games this season. But every team in the league wants a great defense supporting their quarterback. Nix has been inconsistent in his not yet 2 full seasons. His average time to throw hovers in the middle of NFL starters. Some of that comes from scheme, tempo, and Nix himself, who's only 25 years old. His EPA has lingered in the bottom third of starters most of this season, yet he ranked 1st in EPA during his rookie year. Which number tells the real story? Or is this just an early chapter in a body of work that needs years to complete? Sports Illustrated asked 4 AFC personnel executives who study players for a living. The responses were mixed and indecisive. Struggles with intermediate throws. Misses deep too often. Too early to assess. Starts slow but comes on late. The dude wins. The foundation for long-term success exists. Not a single definitive conclusion emerged. One AFC general manager texted that it appears Payton doesn't trust him. Maybe. Anyone watching the Raiders game saw Nix sail passes over receivers' heads. His footwork looked sloppy at times. He threw 2 interceptions, both poor throws. But he played in a game with 0 rhythm on a short week that virtually all players describe as featuring the worst kind of football. The Broncos averaged 3.1 yards per carry, committed 11 penalties, and spent most of the game backed up near their own end zone. Nix was part of their bad win, but only part. He still won. Same story in Week 11. Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant carved larger roles as Payton's offense rounded into better form with Nix at the center. This wasn't spectacular by any measure, but it was classic Nix. doubted and debated, factoring into another victory against the dynastic Chiefs. Kansas City entered with the fourth best scoring defense in the league. Nix brought Denver back against that unit. He didn't outplay Mahomes, but the Broncos outplayed the Chiefs. Isn't that the point? Facing 3rd and 5 late in the fourth quarter from Denver's 20-yard line, Nix adjusted his offensive line, had time to throw, scrambled right, and lasered a pass to Courtland Sutton to continue the drive. Chiefs defensive lineman Chris Jones told reporters afterward that Nix recognized their defensive call and adjusted. Later that drive, Nix found Franklin, who caught a pass and ripped off 32 yards to set up the game-winning field goal. That comeback marked Nix's 5th game-winning drive this season, tied with Chicago's Caleb Williams. In Broncos history, only Hall of Famer Elway in 1985 led more game-winning drives in a single season. Nix has 8 comeback victories in 28 regular season games, the second most for any quarterback in their first 2 seasons since 1950. Wins aren't quarterback stats, they say. But what about when they're directly involved? Instead of context, we get modern evaluations that consider some things, but not what matters most. After Week 10, Payton reminded reporters of the Broncos' record. After Week 11, teammates spoke of cowards and doubters. They know what fans cannot know. That winning any NFL game is hard, that Nix is young, that he's grown, that they believe he'll continue growing. David Morris, Nix's private quarterback coach, said, "Bo is someone who makes situations right no matter what. He likes challenges and big expectations. He's wise and brave enough to know sometimes you have to start over, like the move from Auburn to Oregon." Morris says Nix can stand in the pocket and deliver with the best passers in the NFL, and he can scramble and run with the best too. When asked if Nix is a quarterback who can win a Super Bowl, Morris answered, "Absolutely. We'll see. But that's what really matters in evaluation. Seeing. Allowing enough time to see the complete picture rather than making pronouncements that might be right, but aren't. Not now, not yet, and maybe not ever."